Story of Saints, November 3rd, 2024, is the feast day of Saint Martin de Porres. Martin was born in Lima, Peru on December 9, 1579 to a Spanish father and a freed slave mother of African descent. Shortly after Martin was born, his father abandoned his family, embarrassed that Martin had dark skin. Martin grew up in a single-parent household with his poor mother and became a barber apprentice, where he also learned medicine. Fun fact: at the time, barbers were usually the only person with sharp instruments, so they were also responsible for doing minor surgeries, bloodletting, and medicines. When he was 15, Martin felt a calling to religious life, but he was not allowed to join the Dominican religious order because of his skin color. So Martin instead asked to be a volunteer at the monastery for the Dominicans of Holy Rosary Priory, where he spent the next 9 years in the monastery cleaning, cooking, laundry, and cutting hairs. One time, his convent went in debt, so Martin begged his superior to sell him to pay off the debt, but they refused. Seeing his devotion to the faith and daily praying of the Rosary, his superior, Wanda Lorenzana, decided to allow Martin to take his vows and become a brother at the age of 24. Many of his brothers in the monastery still had contempt for Martin because of his dark skin, calling him a mulatto dog and mocking him for being a descendant of a slave, but he remained patient and kind, focusing his attention on helping everyone around him. After becoming a brother until his death at the age of 60, Martin spent his life dedicated to improving the conditions of the poor and helpless. He fed the hungry, healed the sick, built an orphanage for children, and sheltered slaves and the homeless to sleep in his own bed while he lay on the floor. One time, Martin brought into the monastery a beggar covered with ulcers and reeked of odor. His religious brother rebuked him for making the monastery smell like a dump, to which Martin replied, "Compassion, my dear brother, is preferable to cleanliness." Indeed, Martin is a very compassionate and charitable saint, and because of his dedication to the Rosary and the blessed sacrament of the Eucharist, he received many blessings from God, which includes levitation, bilocation, knowledge, miraculous healing, and the ability to talk to animals. Martin is the patron saint of social justice and race relations. As we approaches the November 5th election, let us pray for St. Martin's intercession to share the wisdom of God on the next president, keeping in mind that God created all of us equally in his image, regardless of where we lived or the color of our skin.